All right, so this is my 28-year-old vest. It's got a few thousand miles on it out there. It's starting to fall apart. Yep, webbing's gone, but you know what? If it'll give me another 15 years, great. From my perspective, there's three main ways that we protect water quality, and two of them come from the forest practices rules, and those have to do with the buffers and the protection measures we have for streams like this. The other is for the roads. In the road construction portion, you have to deal with runoff properly. So runoff, maintaining your roads, putting good rock on those road systems that's durable and doesn't create the silting that we don't want in these stream systems. The third thing is the partnerships that we create by being out here and working on this land. To get projects like this, where we're adding these logs and enhancing these tree systems, you got to be able to work with within your community partners, and those would be, you know, your watershed councils and other federal and state agencies.
I don't think a lot of people fully understand the amount of planning that's involved. We have particular planners that's their job. Work with engineers to build out 5 and 10 year plans for sustainable scheduling. I think some of the important things that we're really focused on are road construction, stream and buffer, layout, markets. So there's a lot that goes in and a lot of details into what we're doing here.
So a buffer is basically a pre-planned strip of timber that we are going to leave, and nothing will be harvested and no equipment or lines will be in that particular area. When we leave a buffer, it's because of usually water quality. There's a stream there. We leave trees on both sides for wildlife habitat and water quality. Prior to the fact Okay, hold on. Prior to the private forest accord, the stream you see behind us would not have been buffered. It has now been buffered 75 feet either side, and the stream that it feeds into has gone from 50 feet to 100 feet, doubled in size.
These road systems, we have to do a lot of culvert replacement under the new Forest Practices Act. It's called FERDA, and we have to meet 100-year peak flows and some additional stream widths that we have to meet for fish passability. And so, like right here is a perfect example of that. We can jump out and take a look at this. But we have a 5-foot wide culvert here. Sedimentation being the huge issue, we need to use high quality rock. We need to keep our road systems crowned, highly maintained. We need to keep the brush back off them so the ditches are functioning. We need to use sediment traps. Sometimes we're using bales of hay and different things to limit the amount of sedimentation that comes off those roads if we happen to get heavy rainstorms and we are operating in the area. And in this case here, we put in the new culvert structure, and this comes from one of our rock pits, but on the Coast Range it can be hard to find good quality rock, and usually a simple test is if you get some nice clinking sound, you got a high quality rock, and this would be kind of rock that they would use on asphalt out on the highway. And if it's not hard enough, it breaks down, creates sediment, goes into the ditch and is washed into our stream system, and that's not allowable under the Forest Practices Act. So high quality rock, #1 out here in the woods. So here we have a young hemlock seedling that was just freshly planted here a couple months ago, starting to flesh out, looking pretty healthy, doing pretty good. And this one didn't do so well. It got bit off and pulled out by an elk or a deer when we just planted it, so it got pulled out of the ground. But overall, we have a young harvest here that we did a site prep spray on, so we put a herbicide application here to control the vegetation to give these young seedlings a start. They're usually only about 12 to 18 inches tall when we start, and if they have brush like you see in that timber line there to compete with, they're not going to do real well. So we put a herbicide application on, plant the trees, give them a good start. They hopefully turn into something like is on the other side of the road, which is about 22 years old over here. and eventually here's something over here that's a little more about 50, 60 years old. Protecting water quality with herbicide applications, we have buffer requirements. It's permitted through the Oregon Department of Forestry and regulated by the Department of Agriculture. We have a pesticide applicator's license. I receive training every year. We have to maintain our chemical applicator's license to be able to spray herbicides out here. We're here on Stimson Lumber Company's Coast Tree Farm, just south of Tillamook off of Sand Lake Road. We're in a Andy Creek here, which is one of the prominent coho streams in the Sand Lake Basin. And I'm here with Albert and the Sand Lake Niseko Watershed Council. And this stream system was selected as one of their projects as a Watershed Council to do some stream improvement projects for coho and salmonoid species. So it's been a fun project, and this is the first year it's gone through one winter cycle. And so we're going to go over and we'll be able to look at some of the log jams and how it's starting to change the environment in here and rehabilitate it for us, the salmon.
We're putting in bridges, we're putting in new culverts, larger culverts, making them habitable for fish passage. And that's the bottom line, coho passage, and then everything else follows. The Chinook, the chum, the winter steelhead, the cutthroat, the lamprey, and all, like I mentioned earlier, all the aquatic organisms that are in these watersheds. It's going to improve the health on all of those as we work our way up and get those reaches further up into the coastal reach of these creeks.
We're residents of this community. We love where we live. It's a blessing to be out here, and this is part of our job. I mean, yeah, who can argue that? Yeah. But yeah, like the road conditions, you know, we're used to being in town and the streets are swept and potholes are taken care of because it's for the safety of the community and it makes the longevity of the road last. It's no different than forests. We've got to maintain those roads and maintain those streams to where they run off properly, because when the ditches and all that's taken care of per the design standards, then our creeks don't get the turbidity issues and runoff and whatnot. So it's just a holistic approach. And then yeah, if John and I are taking care of our part to make sure the area, the buffer around the streams is taken care of, then I have the blessing of supplying amazing drinking water to the citizens of Tillamook. We get, you know, there's 5,000 residents on a normal basis, but the creamery is the second largest tourist destination in Oregon, last I knew. So you have, you know, 1 million people that pass through our town that they get to enjoy our water. And we supply, Tillamook treats the water, but we supply 11 other water districts this water too. So it's a huge community effort. We have really good water quality. It meets those quality standards on a regular basis.
I'd live here too. I could throw a stone over the hill right here and hit my house. And my family drinks the water that comes out of this right here. And so, you know, it's very important to me as a forest manager to be able to take care of this land and this land base, manage it for a resource, but at the same time protect all those water quality resources that we need to, and that's fisheries, human consumption, agriculture, whatever it may be.